So, Dave, why were you a little bit unsure or even sceptical of using an outsourced provider?
I suppose, like any business owner, when you're doing something that's out of your comfort zone, using outsourcing is sort of an area where you don't know the cultural differences and how to sort of, work with, the businesses in an outsourced environment. So I guess I was always sceptical of how that worked, and also just sceptical of, how do you manage people when they're so far away.
But you had a VA for a couple of years before we got introduced, is that right?
Yeah, so initially I'd worked with a VA, I guess they generally call a home-based VA. But the challenges that I had was really the difficulty of knowing when they're available. They have lots of issues regarding technology and dropouts with electricity or bad internet. But also just not knowing that really no one's supervising. You don't know what sort of environment there are. Not that I'm saying they do anything untoward, but it's just really, really, really challenging to manage. And so, in fact, I had two sort of VAs that I tried at different periods, but it just wasn't a model that was going to really work for the business that we had.
And what then made you decide to go for a managed VA type service?
I suppose one of the reasons that we decided to go with a managed VA service was, and particularly the one provided by the guys in Cebu, was that we had the confidence that they were being managed. There was an office manager, and also just the comfort that Jeremy, who is an Australian guy, is actually on the ground here and is able to sort of, bridge the gap between us down there and sort of know what's really going on and sort of give us the support that we need.
So after you started using the service, what specific benefits did you receive that you perhaps didn't get from the previous work from home model?
So the specific benefits that we received is, knowing that all the payroll, knowing that all the legal requirements, statutory requirements were being made by, on our behalf, being able to troubleshoot IT, have people supervise, being able to scale up. So we've sort of been able to go from starting with sort of 2 to now close to 20. Assistance here, and having someone that can support you as you're growing that sort of rapidly, has really been a big benefit.
That's great. And finally, last question for you, because you're jetting back home tomorrow. What type of business do you see that could benefit from the managed type VA role as opposed to your traditional work from home?
So I would encourage anyone to look at outsourcing as part of their key business model. I think we need to drive down the cost to deliver whatever service or product, and the costs in Australia are just so high that needs to be on someone's radar. But you need to be conscious of what you're getting yourself into for, and you've got to make sure that not always cheapest is best. And my experience with using a home-based VA, which is a cheaper option, is that it's not always going to deliver your outcome, and it's going to cause you a lot more frustration. So I'd recommend anyone that's serious in business, that may see themselves growing over time and needing to have people working in a good office environment where they can interact and they can actually collaborate, but also knowing that they're supervised, that they're legally sort of looked after from all their pay and requirements, then that person that has the ability to sort of grow, and even if they don't, they've just got a couple of team members or one or two, and they're just needing some key stuff done, knowing that they're being supervised and looked after, then I'd recommend it for anyone in that sort of business position.
Great. Thank you very much for your time.